Myeloblast. I put pro-erythroblast, megakaryote, which he has on this one, pro-megakaryote. Then I put myeloblast and monoblast. I just kind of changed because I looked at some different sources on this, and for us, this is good enough. And there's the monoblast. But then these right here, neutrophil, eosinophil, and basophil. There's old NEB, neutrophil, eosinophil, and basophil. We put right here myeloblast. Myeloblast. Now look on your sheet. You'll see pro-erythroblast, megakaryoblast. Then you'll see myeloblast. Then you'll see monoblast. We abbreviated, just kind of broke it down a little bit, kind of put it together, which will be easier on you, and it all is in the scheme of things. It fits right nicely. All right, look at this. Now, here's one thing on the pro-erythroblast you need to highlight. All right, notice in the early erythroblast, hemoglobin begins to form. Don't need to worry about late erythroblast, but the word normoblast. Highlight normoblast. In the normoblast, that's when the nucleus is either ejected or disintegrated. Be sure and highlight that. It is in that stage, everybody, it is in that stage where the nucleus is not part of the game plan anymore. The nucleus is out of the game plan. The nucleus either is ejected or disintegrates, whatever. The nucleus is no more. See right here, they say right here, nucleus ejected, pro-erythroblast, but they don't tell you exactly where. See, there's several stages on this thing. It doesn't tell you. But the nucleus is ejected, according to other information, the nucleus is ejected at the normoblast stage. The reticulocyte stage, the reticulocyte is very important. The reticulocyte count, and any of you going into hematology? Nobody? The reticulocyte count comes to play in hematology. If it's below 5% of the total number of red blood cells, then something's not right. The reticulocyte, the ER, that means endoplasmic reticulum, shows, and then it goes from reticulocyte to a mature erythrocyte. Now, in a mature erythrocyte, everybody, the ER is not there. It's no longer there. All right, so we've got a pluripotent stem cell. We go to a lymphoid stem cell and a myeloid stem cell. Now, the myeloid stem cell gives rise to a pro-erythroblast, a megakaryoblast, a myeloblast, and a monoblast. All right, now the pro-erythroblast goes into an early erythroblast. Hemoglobin begins to form. Late erythroblast, we don't have anything for that. But monoblast, the nucleus goes away. Then reticulocyte, ER shows. That's important in hematology, the reticulocyte count. And then there is the erythrocyte. And the erythrocyte, the mature red blood cell, what do you know about it? The mature red blood cell lacks a nucleus. Okay, you know that. All right, you know that about it. You know it packs a whole lot of hemoglobin. All right, now look at the megakaryoblast. This is where we come in with megakaryoblast. They develop into a megakaryocyte. And those little cells fragment. In other words, a platelet is not a full cell. A platelet is a fragment of a cell. They play a crucial role, everybody, when you get in nursing and you start working for somebody where you're working in surgery. I guarantee you they will not do surgery on someone whose platelet count is below 250,000 per ml of blood. In other words, the platelet count is important in surgery. The platelet count. That is why, if a person has been taking aspirin, why they will say, Mr. Westmoreland, you need some surgery. We ain't going to do it right now because we got to wait. You just hear them say, we ain't. Okay. We're not going to do the surgery right now, but it's not a life or death situation right now. So you stay off the aspirin for a week and a half and come back and we'll do the surgery then and get off the aspirin. Because if you don't get off the aspirin, if you're not, what happens is bleeding will occur and you'll be in ICU with blood transfusions to replace your blood because it won't clot right. Because the clotting factor, because the platelets count is, platelet flood formation won't happen. All right, but anyway, everybody, so there's that. Megakaryote platelets, and then myeloblasts give rise, for us, myeloblast, neutrophil, which is the same thing. Neutrophilia, basically. Neutrophilia, eosinophil, and basophil, and monoblast, and monocyte. Now be kind of aware of this. I'll keep reviewing you a little bit on this one. Just make yourself a little pencil note there. Be kind of aware, this one right here, not that one over there. Be kind of aware of this thing right here, up here. Just kind of hang with it. What's the pluripotent? Granted, that's the big daddy. That's the stem cell. Pluripotent gives rise to a lymphoblast cell. All right, pardon me. The lymphoid stem cell and the myeloid stem cell. The lymphoid gives rise to the lymphoblast, and the lymphoblast gives rise then to the B lymphocyte, T lymph, and so forth. Look at it. Just kind of go over this. You'll be okay. Just look at this stuff right here. As far as these blood cells are concerned. And you really get into this if you work in situations where you're working with blood. If you're working in cancer situations and you're working with stem cell replacement, you're working with things like leukemia and that sort of stuff, that sort of situation, you get more into this kind of business right here. We're giving him stem cells, what kind of stem cell, that sort of thing. And you might get into that. So we just kind of look at that briefly. Now, I want to mention this to you. Erythropoiesis rate. Now, erythropoiesis, be aware of this one. And there's a question on your lab test, on your practice exam. There's a question dealing with this one. There's definitely a question right here. All right, controlled by the hormone erythropoietin. This hormone is produced as kidney cells. Like if you were to go up into the mountains during spring break, Christmas time, spring break. You go up in the mountains, say Thanksgiving. You go high up in the mountain. Go up on Pikes Peak. You go up to snow skiing or something like that. When you first get up there and the partial pressure of oxygen is so low, the altitude is high, you might walk a little bit and you might, man, I'm in good shape. Man, I'm kind of out of breath, you know? Well, the reason for that is the partial pressure of oxygen in the high atmosphere is equally almost the same as the partial pressure in your lungs, so the diffusion rate is slower. With the diffusion rate being slower, you gas. Now, here's what happens though. You acclimate. You stay there a day, and your system starts acclimating. How does it acclimate? Your kidneys sense a lower amount of oxygen, kidney cells, and your kidneys produce a hormone, erythropoietin. This hormone erythropoietin, the target area is your bone marrow, and it causes your system to start cranking out more red blood cells. And so the next day you stay up there on the mountains, and you're going to ski for 3 or 4 days. By the second day, you're breathing better. Unless you're a total physical wreck to begin with, and you start breathing better. I've known people that are going to go skiing. They work on getting in shape. I've seen people. Hey, I'm going skiing. I'm doing a little extra running, doing a little extra stair climbing or gleacher running. Get a little bit better shape. Maybe the effects of that will be a little bit less when I get there. Yeah, I've seen people do that.